Hello, vacation rental owner or manager. I'm Kara. Today, we're diving deep into the common decorating mistakes that make your STR look cheap, and more importantly, how to fix those mistakes fast. Hi, STR owner. Thanks for joining in on Step Up Your STR, the podcast about specialized decorating so your property gets more bookings and can make max revenue. If your property isn't attracting the bookings that you want, if you know it lacks that polished, high-end appeal, it's probably due to one or more of these decorating mistakes that we'll talk about. But don't worry, I'll guide you through some really practical and budget-friendly solutions that will go a long way to improve your property. We want to elevate your space quickly and effectively. That's what today is about. So here's the thing. How much or how little revenue you earn directly correlates with how good or how bad your decor is. People book with their eyes first. And if your property isn't visually compelling, you are leaving money on the table. We don't want that. I'm convinced that the most unleveraged element that could bring STR owners really great success is to have excellent decorating. Good decor does not actually cost more than bad decor. It's the bad that is costing you in low bookings and revenue. But the good news is an amazing space is possible quickly, and it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. Let's get started. Number one, first impressions are everything in the vacation rental industry. Guests often decide within seconds. When they're on a booking platform like Airbnb, they're scrolling along, they decide within seconds whether your property meets their expectations. And this is based on how it looks. It's based on your decor. So some of the biggest offenders are mismatched furniture scale. Placing too small of furniture in a large room or oversized furniture in a little small space really disrupts the room's balance and flow and functionality. Next, insufficient lighting. Relying solely on just a single overhead light fixture without any lamps or other additional lighting, it always makes a space feel uninviting and stark. Next, uninspired bedding. Flat and lifeless pillows, low quality, ratty bed toppers. These give the impression of neglect and really of an uncomfortable night's sleep. That's the cardinal rule to not do. It's a huge red flag to potential clients that they will not enjoy the experience in your STR and that they should keep scrolling past it. Beds and mattresses and the bedding on top of them are one place you must spend the money that is necessary to make it really luxurious for guests, both in pictures and in person. Another big problem is cluttered decor. So this happens when you have an abundance of little small decorative items. It just overwhelms the space. It makes it feel chaotic rather than thoughtfully styled. So I'll give you a really specific way to fix it. Fix it by choosing no more than 3 larger sized accessories in an area. And when I say larger accessories, a good rule of thumb is to have your accessories be as big as your head or bigger. If they're smaller than your head, they'll likely just look like clutter in listing photos. We don't want that. And another big problem is unprofessional signage. Now, it's great to have checkout instructions or house rules for guests, but taping them onto the refrigerator or onto the walls looks really tacky. It's really unpolished. So instead, consider framing the instructions or compiling them into a really neat, sleek, printed guidebook. Okay, let's talk specifically about art mistakes. Art has the power to transform a space, but when it's incorrectly used, it has the opposite effect. So first, let's talk word art. Generic phrases on a little wooden plaque like live, laugh, love, those have become cliche. and they typically detract from a unique experience. People generally don't like art that tells you how to think or how to feel, and that's what word art does. So to fix it, get regular art, either beautiful prints or real paintings, and make sure they're framed. Let's not put up any more cheap looking unframed canvases. Framed art always kicks the look up a notch. And it does not have to cost you a lot. You can find great art at Facebook Marketplace, download some beautiful prints on Etsy for just a few dollars. If you know a young artist, you can commission them to make a piece or several pieces of art for your property. And you can actually even find lovely art at Target. So there is great art to go with every style of decor. You can find them in various places. Just avoid the word art and don't have unframed art. Another problem is the artwork that is undersized, too small of artwork. So small, randomly placed art pieces can make the walls look barren and unbalanced and uncoordinated. So to fix this, go bigger. Be brave. This is one place where I have often said, be brave, go big. One oversized art piece instantly makes a room look higher end. Another problem is, I guess what I would call an incoherent art grouping or an incoherent art series. So if you're displaying a series of artworks in varying sizes without a clear arrangement, it can seem haphazard. So to fix it, make sure that the art in a particular room, make sure it relates to each other somehow. So some examples of this would be all prints of landscapes, or all black and white photography, or all the frames are silver. These elements can make your art cohesive and set the tone for your property. And another really big problem is overused art reproductions. So displaying really famous, iconic pieces of art that are obviously not the real thing, like the Mona Lisa or Van Gogh's Starry Night, those make your rental feel impersonal. Everyone knows that these are generic copies, and guests don't want generic. They want unique. They want real stuff. Remember, this art that isn't great, it's going to cost you as much as art that is great. So just choose good art, avoid the bad. You'll save yourself in the long run. Now, I know that choosing art and any decor, really, for your STR can be difficult, tricky. You're always welcome to contact me. We can set up a mini design session. It's a few hours over Zoom, and it's easy to do through my website. It's vrdecor.co/contact. That's VR as in vacation rental decor.co/contact. And I can also put that link in the description box. A short session with me will give you confidence in your design choices and help you prevent mistakes. Preventing mistakes with a small upfront investment in some expert guidance will save you time and make you more money. The next big overarching mistake is cheap looking furniture. The wrong furniture instantly makes a rental feel uninviting and low budget and like you just don't care about your guest. That's the last thing a guest wants to feel. So some of the biggest offenders here are flimsy or wobbly, worn out furniture. So I'm thinking the things I see most often are old, worn out leather sofas and wobbly beds. Get those fixed right away. Another common cheap look is having a ton of little furniture pieces. And I mentioned this before. What you want instead are some well-scaled, larger, fewer pieces of furniture. Scale matters. It is a huge part of good design. If you have a large living room, you need a substantial sofa, a full-size coffee table, and a proper rug. Definitely not a tiny little 5x7 rug floating in the middle of the room. It will look like clutter in your listing photos. Another problem with furniture is having all of it matching. So like a full bedroom set. If there's a bed and matching nightstands and a matching tall dresser and a matching short dresser with, one of those matching mirrors above it. It looks like one of those little fake bedroom setups in furniture stores. So you want it instead to feel like a comfortable real home. Know that the way to fix this is to mix and match furniture materials. It will give you a much better designer look. Also, remember, an amazing space can include items you already own. You just need to know how to incorporate the right ones. Another big mistake is rugs. Rug mistakes can really make your space look cheap, especially the size. So having a too small rug, like I said, a tiny little 5x7 rug in a living room, or no rug at all, which makes the space feel cold and unfinished. And I know that rugs can be a potential tripping hazard. So if you are especially marketing to the older generation, who might have walking troubles, gait troubles, you can avoid the rug. But if you're marketing to families, couples, I think a rug is a very good idea. In the living room, go for at least an 8x10 foot rug or bigger. And remember, it should fit under the front legs of all of the seating, the sofa and chairs. In bedrooms, also an 8x10 rug or bigger if you have a queen or a king. With a king, ideally, you'd have a 9x13. So it will really help anchor that space. And then avoid super thin rugs because they automatically feel cheap. Don't get a shag rug either because they get matted and ruined very fast. Get a really comfortable plush rug in between those. Let's move on to curtains. Curtains are a super fast way to upgrade your space, but it's chronically an issue that STRs get this so wrong. The biggest offenders are curtains hung too low. They should be mounted high above the window casing and wider than the window. And this will make your window and your whole room look bigger and grander. Next is the problem of too short curtains, the ones that stop above the floor. Curtains should go all the way down and just kiss the floor for a really polished and beautiful look. And then another problem that I think so many people don't think about, even some quote unquote professional designers, are too thin, skimpy curtains. These also look so very cheap. So to fix this, make sure that each curtain panel is 2 times the width of the window. So this curtain panel on this side and then on the other side, both of them should be twice the width of the window. And then when the curtain is scrunched all over to one side and it's all squished together, it will look just beautiful and luxurious and like you actually had the funds to buy a normal curtain panel. All right, a few more fixes. Install the curtain rods closer to the ceiling, like I said, at least 8 inches above the window, all the way up to ceiling if you have standard 9-foot ceilings. Also choose those full width panels so they don't look stretched too thin. Try to get blackout curtains, especially for bedrooms, so that guests can get the very best quality sleep. And one more thing, get grommet top or pinch pleat topped curtains with rings. When you're looking for these in a store or online, choose those with either a grommet top or pinch pleat with rings because those are just very easy to use and they look really polished and nice. All right, bad lighting. Bad lighting equals a cheap look. Lighting is like jewelry for your room and it can really make it look amazing. So the biggest problems are using one overhead light fixture with no lamps, no accent lighting. Another issue is cool toned, unnatural bluish light bulbs. Those sterile blue-white glow. It looks bad in photos and even worse in person, in my opinion. Also, mixing your light temperatures. So you have some warm light bulbs and some cool light bulbs, especially all in one space. This really looks chaotic. So to fix these, use a warm white light bulb. The way to figure this out is on the light bulb box, it should say 2700K to 3000K. So 2700 up to 3000. And the K stands for Kelvin, and that means light temperature. And that will give, so 2700 up to 3000 gives a beautiful and cozy and inviting feel. Also add lamps, and at least one floor lamp if you can, to create layered, luxurious lighting. And then if you're stuck with a bad ceiling fixture, just swap it out. They're really quite affordable online, and there are so many to choose from, even at big box stores. Get a stylish fixture and make sure it's big enough for the room. That's another cheap mistake. A little dinky light fixture, get it plenty big for how large the space is. A few final thoughts. Now, if your STR has these problems, don't feel bad about it. The great majority of properties do have some or even all of these issues, but they are making your property look cheap. So you're leaving money on the table. We don't want that. And the good news is the fixes I recommend are fast and won't break the bank. Start with the ones that'll have really big impact. I would say that's swapping out your lights, upgrading your bedding. That should probably be number one, actually. Get excellent bedding and fix your curtain placement. And I'm confident if you do at least these things, you will see the difference in bookings and revenue. And I want to offer again a mini design session so you can get really good, solid, focused guidance and get the best design possible for your STR. It's a couple of hardworking hours over Zoom, and it's designed to save you time and money, to fix previous mistakes, and to prevent mistakes in the future. And I'll leave the link for that contact link to get hold of me in the description box. Thank you for listening. It is great to spend time with you, and I look forward to talking again next time.